the final ride for you, Cooper? I mean, you've been around for 5 years and have played every bit of it. First year at tight end, and then center the last handful of years. Knowing this is it, is there a finality to it in your mind? I mean, are you looking forward to this final run? I mean, what kind of take the fans through kind of what your mindset is right now?
I'm definitely looking forward to it. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it as much, probably, because I felt like last year was going to be my last year. So I kind of went through all that stuff last year, and then I'm here for my final year, my fifth year, and now I'm kind of just being where my feet are. I'm a little bit older now, and I don't know. I kind of look at things a little bit different.
When you say you look at things differently, in what terms?
I don't know. I just don't really. I used to think about like the big grand scheme of things and how it was all going to work out, and kind of felt like I had a little bit of control over it, and in some sense, and now I don't really feel as much that way. I kind of just, you know, what's the next day going to be like? What's today like? And I kind of just try to do the best I can with it.
When you go back to your freshman year of high school, I think you probably had Cade's committed to Tennessee at that point, and I'm sure you had dreams and aspirations as well. I'm sure the path you thought that this thing was going to take probably had a few detours with the family a little bit here and there. But like at the same time, like how much have you just enjoyed the journey of becoming an actual prospect, getting recruited, committing, playing, and being one of the key leaders on the team?
I've really enjoyed it. I think you know, even when I was young in high school, I kind of, felt like everybody around me didn't really, want to be there. They were like, I can't wait to get to college, or I can't wait to do this, or be this age, or whatever. I tried to kind of take it all in. I was kind of one of those kids that tried to go and then make the most out of it. And man, I still can't believe how great it turned out. Like you said, a lot of detours and a lot of stuff that's happened that I definitely never saw happening, but it worked out just exactly how it was supposed to.
How much pride do you take? I mean, it's kind of your family's legacy is Tennessee football, and you're going to have just about as many starts at center as anybody that's ever played in the program. By the time this thing's all said and done, I mean, what's the importance level for you?
Super important. I haven't really thought about that. And what was the record? Who is it? Who got it?
It should be Scott Wells.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good guy to be up there with. I've been really blessed. I think just like I said earlier, it turned out better than I could have ever wrote it up or thought it could go. I've had a really good time here at Tennessee. I take a lot of pride in what we've done and what we do here and what we're gonna do. So yeah, just really thankful for everything.
Where have you evolved?
Where have I evolved?
Yep.
Oh man, I don't know. There's so many ways I could probably take that question. I don't know. Probably mostly as a person. Just getting older. I'm a kid that I was the baby of my family. For the most part. And
You
then
were until you weren't.
yeah, right, exactly. So Cam's got that role now. But I used to be the little bro. I always had. I was a mama's boy, so my mom always took care of me. I Cade was a little bit more like
Like
with
your
it,
dad.
right? A little bit more mature, as in like being a man, kind of in certain ways. But I've kind of just being at the point right now where I've kind of evolved into a man a little bit is probably the most. Football's always what it is. You get better each and every day. Try to get stronger and faster, but I feel like I've done a lot this past off season and this past year to evolve as a human, I guess.
So where does this team going to be different this fall than it was last year?
I know one thing. I know our D line is going to be dominant. I know that. I mean, I know they were last year and they were really good last year, but I think they'll be on a whole nother level this year. Um, so that'll be big time. And then, oh man,
You think the offense looks more like 22 than it did 23, as far as just how they use the middle of the field more with Nico? Just because you threw to Joe's strengths, you go throw to Nico's strengths, and maybe Nico's strengths are more like Hendon's strengths. Does that make sense?
I would probably say that's a fair thing to say. I would probably agree. Yeah, I think Hendo and Nico probably resemble each other a little bit more. As how they play and how they operate. Um, yeah, Joe was a different guy. He had different strengths, and I would probably say that Nico's more on that path.
Some different type of games this year. You get this neutral site game with NC State. That's a big one early. Then
Right.
you have Oklahoma and Arkansas on the road before you ever get a big home game against Florida in mid-October, which is just
Right.
different. How big is that first month of the season?
Oh, it's huge, especially this year. The way our schedule has played out. Um, like you just said, you got two big time opponents on the road, um, and then the neutral site with NC State. But it'll be a road game for us, kind of in a way. Yeah, it'll be huge. It'll set up the rest of the season. So, gotta take advantage of those early weeks and do the best we can to pull out victories in those.
You saw the football team 2 years ago do something that's not done in 20 plus years. Basketball had their longest run, tied for longest run in program history. Baseball just won the College World Series. How much do you feed off of the other sports?
Oh, big time. I would say that's the biggest thing that has gone like overshadowed and kind of the experience for college for me, like is that nobody really talks about how just good every single sport is year in year out. I think every year we've gotten better and better. I mean, baseball you don't really get much better than what they've done,
Sure.
but you know they've been at the top for a few years now. Football has been steadily in the spot where we're trying to get to where we want to be. Basketball, they do their thing every year. I'd say every time you turn on the TV and see Tennessee Vols playing, it's a happy time to be involved.
Last thing, the goal I think for everybody over there in the building right now is to be in this inaugural college football playoff. What would that mean to know where the program was when you got here? The change that went on after 1 year, all the people leaving and all the NCAA stuff, and then to turn this thing around and be a perennial top 10, top 15 team your last 3 years here. How big would that be?
It'll be huge for me, especially I mean, for me it being my final year here, just ending it the way I would want to. I think, like you said, things didn't really go the way we wanted to my first year here. We've kind of been at the spot where we were trying to get back to the top, and to be in a spot to secure a victory in the playoff. I think that would be the cherry on top for my experience, but just huge for Tennessee in general. We'll take that momentum and do whatever we want with it.
Well, good luck this fall here with the only member of the Mays family to beat the University of Alabama. Michael Frog, his dad Kevin, and Cade never did it. This guy did it 2 years ago. We'll see him do it again this fall over here at Neyland Stadium.